well as safe shots from goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some frickin' money. It's time for Pocket with Jo. Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It's Jo here of SportsGrid. It's time for Pocket with Jo. We got 6 games on the ice. And if you did not see that Ovechkin got a hat trick yesterday, he is rolling so freaking hot for the Washington Capitals. They will face Utah today. So you know we have Ovi circled for another goal. He scored in all 3 periods in that game. Scored in the first, scored in the second, and then he ended it in the third with that goal in Vegas. To go into the Fortress and be able to do that was a phenomenal feat. He's chasing Wayne Gretzky this year. Biggest storyline around yesterday's games. But 6 games today, we'll go over each and every single one of them. Picks, props, and predictions in all of them. And then we will do the recap at the end of the show. So if you don't have time to stick around, make sure you come back at the end and we will get to that recap. I'm going to start off here with the Colorado Avalanche. All odds are from FanDuel. You guys, the Colorado Avalanche rolling in to Philadelphia to take on the Flyers. Now, the Avs are a $2 favorite in this one versus a team that, we have seen them struggle to cover the puck line versus plus 164. If you believe the Philadelphia Flyers, who are rolling hot right now, can get the win here at home. Now, this is a total of 6.5. We're actually seeing the juice to the under 6.5 coming in at minus 118. Plus 1.5 on that puck line for the Flyers. It's just out of range, you guys. Plus 1.5 is minus 158. That juice keeps ticking up as the day goes on. It was plus 150 earlier. Minus 1.5 with the Colorado Avalanche coming in at minus 128. Again, this is a team that has not been covering the puck line versus the Flyers or out there. So I would not lay the puck line with the Avs, but they are the stronger team. Good morning to everyone out there watching. If you guys could hit that like button, hit that retweet button, I would appreciate it. When we look at the Avs, they're 0-6 on the puck line against the Metro. When a favorite, they've lost their last 5 games as a favorite versus the Metropolitan Division. So they're facing the 5th team in the Met. Now, my problem here was backing the Flyers. They do have a backup goaltender in here that I do think will struggle to stop this offense here of Colorado. So will this be the day that Colorado breaks these trends of their struggles out there on the puck line? They've been starting off games slow as well. They've lost the first period in the last 5 games out. But I do think we can look at the first period for these teams to get on the board. I'm going to take the first period over 1.5 goals. It's coming in at minus 132. I don't care who gets them. Now, the power play is so strong here for Colorado. So I do think if you're looking at points tonight, you look at Colorado on the power play. The power play converting at 31% of the time. That's 22nd in the league. And yes, we do have a strong kill. 3rd best kill in the league here. The PK coming in at 87.1% for the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers have won their last 3. Saturday, they won 5-2 over the Buffalo Sabres. And all of their 4 games prior to their last game versus the Sabres went to overtime. That's a scary situation for this team here. I do think tired legs will come into play, especially against a high, fast-paced offense here of Colorado. So I do think this is Colorado's game in this one. I can't get behind the Flyers with the goaltending matchup. I do think the team total is enticing here of the Colorado Avalanche over 3.5 goals at minus 118. That takes out that puck line that you would have to lay here because they're too highly juiced straight up on the money line. The game over 6.5, I do think it's a higher scoring battle at minus 104. Now, goal scorer and power play point, Cale Makar. I've got him circled all day long. The anytime goal for Cale Makar, we know he's an offensive defenseman coming in at plus 350. You can look at the power play point as well. Let me just get that power play point for you guys because it was not up before and it's something I'm going to be putting in as soon as it pops up on the books here. We do have it. Cale Makar for the power play point. It's only coming in at plus 140, but I do think he registers that power play point. So if it's only at a plus value, it's still worth it in my opinion. So Cale Makar for the goal, Cale Makar for the power play point. Also, if you're looking here at anything else, let me just see it. No, nothing else here. I don't trust this Flyers team's goaltending here in this one. Let's move on to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Good morning, Jo. Welcome to the show. The Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the Boston Bruins. Now, both of these teams have been struggling to get those goals on the board. The Boston Bruins are a $2 favorite over the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Columbus Blue Jackets rolling in at plus 168 on that money line. Total of 6.5. Now, this 6.5 juice to that under, and rightly so. Like I said, these teams are struggling to light the lamp. Elvis expected here for the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's got an .898 save percentage. Korpisalo expected in goal tonight for the Boston Bruins. Now Korpisalo rolls in here with a .901 save percentage, 3-2-1 on the season, 2.74 goals against average. He has been strong out there, you guys, for the Boston Bruins. Now, the problem with the Boston Bruins is their power play, like one of the worst in the league, only converting at 11.3%. We have a stronger power play here for the Columbus Blue Jackets at 17%. The kill is weak for Boston as well. I do think this is one where you look at the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're off the loss to Montreal on Saturday, 5-1. But the Boston Bruins have lost their last two at home in overtime on Saturday to the St. Louis Blues. Thank God we were riding the Blues in that one. That was a 3-2 loss. Now they are sitting fourth in the Atlantic. When we look at the trends here for Columbus on the road, it's not pretty at all. They've lost their last 7 road games, 1-6-2 on the season on the road. But the Boston Bruins haven't been elite at home. They're staying 5-3-2 at home this season. They've won the last 2 meetings out versus Columbus in 8 of the last 10. I do think Columbus keeps this one tight. I think it's worth a sprinkle as well, you guys. Some of these dogs, I think if we take a couple, I've got a couple I'm liking today. If we take them, I think 2 of the 3 dogs that I'm liking do hit. So the Columbus Blue Jackets plus 1.5 on that puck line. Actually, the juice is dropping down. So wait a little bit. It was minus 150. It's now minus 148 over on FanDuel. We're seeing plus 168 here for the Columbus Blue Jackets on the money line. Now, they are the bottom 5 in the league at goals on the road and goals allowed on the road. So this team has been, when they're getting out on the road, they haven't been finding the back of the net. We saw it versus Montreal, right? But they've been allowing those goals to come in. So they allowed Montreal to score 5. They only put up 1. This is the storyline of what this team has been doing. But against the Boston Bruins here with Korpisalo, even though he's got strong numbers, I do think we can see probably that conversion on the power play here for the Columbus Blue Jackets, that power play clicking at 17%. Weak kill here for the Bruins at 75, and the Bruins are allowing an average of 3.37 goals per game, 29.8, I believe, shots on goal. So I'm going to look here at the Columbus Blue Jackets team total. I know it's kind of risky to do. It's only coming in at 2.5, you guys, minus 116 to the over. All we need is 3 goals out of them. We know Monahan has really been stepping up for this team. I expect them to be able to light the lamp tonight. We need to have some positive regression here. Is positive regression a thing? Regression or positive regression? We need to have some positive movement on the offensive side on the road. This is a team that has the 3rd most high danger shots out there on the road. They just haven't been able to light that lamp. So frustration has to be setting in for this team, not able to light the lamp. Now, this is their last road game. They are home on Thursday versus the Lightning and then versus the Carolina Hurricanes. So 2 really hard matchups on deck for them. When we look at Boston, they have Utah on deck on Thursday. So both of these teams have a couple days off after this game. I think Columbus could get it right tonight here. I'm going to sprinkle on the money line. I'm also loving their team total over 2.5 at minus 116. I think this finishes 3-2 for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So if you like the under 6.5, I am on the under 6.5 as well. Let's talk about the Edmonton Oilers. They're taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Now, the Edmonton Oilers are almost a $3 favorite. The juice keeps ticking up in this one. Montreal has been a scrappy team versus them. Both games last season were pushed to overtime. Both games were lower scoring. Now, it's hard to look at a lower scoring game when we do have Stuart Skinner and Sam Montague in net. You guys know both of these goaltenders kind of allow the goals, and while Sam Montague looks strong to start the season, we can't say that he's looked phenomenally strong in any of these games as of late. So that total at 6.5, it's minus 115 to the under. The trends do support an under here, minus 105 to the over. Montreal, the home dog, plus 230 on the money line and the puck lines here. You got to lay the puck line if you like Edmonton. Laying 1.5 at minus 114 and plus 1.5 for the Montreal Canadiens still has value, plus 1.5 at minus 106, because the last two games were 1-goal games between these two, pushed to overtime. I will take Montreal plus the 1.5 at minus 106. They covered the puck line in the last 3 as well versus Edmonton and 7 of the last 10. So these two teams played really tight. Now, Darnell Nurse is out. Well, he's listed day-to-day. I don't think he plays tonight after taking that huge hit by Ryan Reeves in their last game out in that second period. And I think that is going to be an issue for Edmonton, having him out. We also look at Edmonton, and they have one of the worst kills in the league. Their PK only sitting at 66%. I do think Montreal, with how scrappy they can be out there on the ice, I think they're going to convert on the power play tonight. I'm looking at a couple of players for Montreal to convert on that power play. Now, I would put a third of a unit on all three of them out there. They're all three of them on that top power play. I wouldn't put a full unit on each unless you want to go big on this game. You got Kirby Dack coming in at plus 370 for the power play point, Kyle Caulfield at plus 270 for the power play point, and Nick Suzuki at plus 270 for the power play point. So I'm splitting up a unit, putting a third of a unit on each of those players. I do think we will see, because Kirby Dack is on the defensive side of that power play, I think he will get the assist to either Kyle Caulfield or Nick Suzuki. So we hit 2 of the 3, and we are laughing. When we look at the other side of the puck here, we've got to circle Connor McDavid tonight for the anytime goal. Now, you're not getting a lot of value. It's coming in at plus 100. But we look at Connor McDavid versus Montreal, and his numbers are fantastic. You could also look at him for the 2+ points for Connor McDavid. You are laying juice at minus 142, which is just crazy. But in 25 games versus Montreal, Connor McDavid has 9 goals and 32 points. 32 points. 25 games, 6 goals and 17 points in his last 10 games versus the Montreal Canadiens, and 6 of those games were multi-point games. So we've seen 6 of the last 10 games be a 2-point or more game for Connor McDavid versus Montreal. I expect him to continue to have that success here versus Montreal in this one. So Connor McDavid for the goal, plus 100. Connor McDavid for 2+ points at plus 142. And in the last 4 games, Connor McDavid has just been shooting that puck like ferociously out there on the ice, 24 shots on goal in the last 4 games. Now, I do think you can also look here at Leon Draisaitl. He has played strong versus Montreal as well. Leon Draisaitl for the anytime goals, plus 125. He has 5 goals in the last 7 games, 7 goals in the last 6 road games, and a goal or more in the last 4 road games. And then we look at him versus Montreal last season. He was able to put up 2 goals versus Montreal last season. And when we're talking last season, it was low scoring. I believe 1 game was 2-1 and 1 game was 3-2. So in those, we did see 2 goals out of Leon Draisaitl and a power play point. So I do think Leon Draisaitl is where you want to look along with Connor McDavid. Now, Ekholm, I do think with Darnell Nurse out of the lineup, we are going to see more out of Ekholm on the defensive side. Now, Ekholm is a defensive player that will get those shots from the blue line as well. You can look at him for 3+ shots on goal. You're getting plus money at plus 110 tonight. So I love to circle those guys that I think will step up when a player is out of a lineup. So power play points for Montreal, I think, all 3 of those guys, third of a unit on all 3. 2 of them should cash. And then Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Ekholm would be your players I would look at for Edmonton. I will take Montreal plus the 1.5 because I do think this could be a tight scoring game, but I think we see that goal quick in this matchup. Again, Stuart Skinner, Sam Montague, do I trust either of them in net? No, I don't. So the goal in the first 5 minutes, can we get that goal in the first 5 minutes? I'm going to be on the edge of my chair, and I tell you, if we get it at 5 minutes and 1 second, I will be screaming, but the goal in the first 5 minutes coming in at plus 160. Pasternak, last goal in game 19-1. Ooh, that's an interesting one, looking at Pasta for that goal there. Expect a good effort out of Columbus. I know Columbus really needs to come out nice and strong. I do think Big Brown backing the Columbus Blue Jackets to pull off the straight up win is a really solid way. I see a 3-2 style game, especially against Boston. Boston's been struggling to light the lamp. I know Columbus has to. I know they've struggled on the road, but I think it is a really solid way. Nick Suzuki for Montreal for the anytime goal is a great bet there as well. And you love McDavid anytime goal, even money. Yeah, Connor McDavid should light the lamp tonight. Let's move on to the Anaheim Ducks versus the Dallas Stars. Now, the Anaheim Ducks are one of the biggest, I think they're the biggest dog on the books tonight. Yeah, plus 340 here for the Anaheim Ducks. Are they quacking tonight? Well, the value keeps going, or we keep losing value on the Dallas Stars, even on that puck line. They're minus 450 on the money line. Minus 1.5 on the puck line at minus 168. So that's getting into the realm for me. I can't take them on the puck line. I would have to look at other ways to bet them if I like the Dallas Stars. Alt puck lines laying 2.5 may be in play for this game. We got a total of 6.5, minus 112 to the under. I think the Ducks, you look at this Ducks team, plus 1.5 on the puck line, plus 136. Can we sprinkle on the money line? They've won each of their last 4 Monday games as an underdog. That's a weird trend. Why do they get up on a Monday? Do they have a great day on a Sunday and look to start the week off nice and strong? If you like trends like that, where the underdog has won on a certain day of the week, this is your underdog bet here tonight on the Anaheim Ducks at plus 350. It's going to be a terribly hard matchup here with the Dallas Stars. We know how strong the Dallas Stars are, especially on home ice. Casey DeSmith getting the start for them. He's 2-2 on the season with a 1.79 goals against average and a 929 save percentage. Dostal, on the other hand, starting here for the Ducks, has been strong as well. He's kept them in these games. And while his record doesn't look great, for 6-2 on the season, he has a 2.75 goals against average and 922 save percentage. If the Ducks win this, it's because of Dostal standing on his head. I'm actually really impressed with what we've seen out of him this season. And because of Dostal, I think it's worth a shot on the Ducks, plus 1.5 at plus 136. Moneyline sprinkle at plus 350. Got to be pucking crazy. But if I think a team can keep it tight, I am going to be crazy and put a little sprinkle. When I talk about a sprinkle, that's, a Starbucks coffee, $5, $10 on something like that. Not even, a quarter of a unit here on the Anaheim Ducks to pull it off, but just something. They are 5-2 on the road on the puck line this season, and they covered the puck line in 3 of the last 4 meetings versus the Dallas Stars. So this is a team the Anaheim Ducks have been able to keep tight, even though we have seen the Stars win the last 4 meetings and 9 of the last 10, but the Ducks have been able to keep those tight. We've also seen the Stars struggle to cover the puck line versus the Pacific Division. So the Ducks sitting 7th here in the Pacific. They haven't covered, the Stars haven't covered the puck line in 7 of the last 9 versus Pacific as a favorite at home. So I do think this is a lower scoring game. The under 6.5 really is a smart way to go if you don't want to take anything with the Ducks. That's coming in at minus 112. Yes, we've seen the Stars really have those games where they lit the lamp, 7 goals in 2 games straight before their last game. But I look here at Dostal, and I think Dostal can really limit the Stars out there on the ice. Now, the Stars have won their last 3 games. This Saturday, they locked down and got a huge win over the Minnesota Wild, 2-1. It was a really physical game out there, you guys, and looking at that, how physical it was, and then coming back home here to take on a lonely Ducks team. They got the Sharks on Wednesday. I think we're going to see the Dallas Stars kind of put themselves in cruise control, where they're like, okay, we got the Ducks and the Sharks. We can kind of take a mini vacation this week. This is the first night of a back-to-back for the Ducks here too. They will face Chicago tomorrow. So if we get the best out of the Ducks tonight, they're going to probably struggle versus Chicago. Okay, let's move on to the next game. I'm going to have to check the Ducks injury report and see where we're looking with those injuries. Everyone is always, it seems, in hockey listed as day-to-day, and then we kind of look at it at the later date and see who is playing. McTavish is still on the IR with upper body. Fowler still IR upper body. So we are seeing those. Yeah, we don't have We still have Troy Terry out there. We still have a bunch of players for the Anaheim Ducks that really can come out nice and strong. When we look at the Dallas Stars, no injuries. This team is looking nice and healthy out here. The Dallas Stars to the under are 2-6-2 in their last 10 games. I think the under is in play in this one. McJesus and Cole Caulfield for the anytime goal parlay. I like that. McDavid and Cole Caulfield. I think that is a really strong way to go between Edmonton and Montreal. We know Cole Caulfield really gets up to play McDavid. So I think that is a great way to go. The Washington Capitals, we got to talk about it. The Washington Capitals on their second night of a back-to-back after just dominating because of Ovechkin, the Vegas Golden Knights in Vegas last night. Now they are a pick 'em price with Utah here, the Utah Hockey Club at -110. We have a total of 6.5. The under juiced at -120, the over at -102. The puck line here, if you lay 1.5 with the Capitals, with how they've been playing, it's +220. But I do think this could be a little bit of a flat spot here with the second night of a back-to-back after such a big game in the last one out. I look at last night's game. Logan Thompson, former Vegas Golden Knights goalie, stood on his head for Washington. He stopped 42 of 44 shots on goal. So defensively, the Capitals, they didn't show up. They allowed the goaltender to be absolutely peppered out there, but we know Vegas is one of those teams that can get those shots. Charlie Lindgren expected tonight. Now, Charlie Lindgren's 4-4 with a 2.66 goals against average and an .897 save percentage. When we look at him versus the Arizona Coyotes, because Utah, the hockey club, was the Arizona Coyotes, so we can't pull stats versus Utah because this will be the first time meeting the Utah Hockey Club, but we can pull stats versus the Arizona Coyotes. When he faced the Arizona Coyotes, it was a bugaboo team for him. 0-2 in 3 games with a goals against average of 4.44 and a save percentage of .852. You guys, that flashes all of the red flags for me with Charlie Lindgren in net tonight. If Utah wins, I think it is going to be in a high-scoring game because we have seen the Washington Capitals be able to put those goals on the board. Number 1 team in the league at getting those goals, 4.24 goals per game. Yes, the Utah Hockey Club have not averaged a heck of a lot of goals, still sitting under 3. But I do think in this one, we see those goals coming in. Give me the first period over 1.5 goals. That's coming in at -134. Give me both teams to score in the first period at +160. I do like Utah, the hockey club, for over 3.5 goals. We're getting great plus money at +126. Clayton Keller for the Utah Hockey Club for the anytime goal at +190. Now, you know we have to go back to Ovi. Ovi for the anytime goal at +165. 11 goals in the last 10 games, 7 of 13 goals on the road. Top power play, top line with Dylan Strome. I think Ovi is in for another good night with at least a goal for us. Now, you could look at the Washington Capitals team total if you want, over 3.5 at +132. I'd rather look at Utah's because I do think we're going to see Lindgren hit here by Utah. This is also game 3. This is our 3rd game in 4 days here for the Washington Capitals. Tired legs have to come into play, and I do think they come into play with the defense on the second night of a back-to-back. So give me Utah's team total over 3.5 as my favorite bet in this game. Am I going to step in front of the Washington Capitals and take Utah on the money line? No, there's not enough value for me. This is a pick 'em either way. I would rather get Utah to 4 goals, and then I don't care if the Washington Capitals put in 5. So give me Utah's team total over 3.5. You guys, last game on deck tonight. We have the Detroit Red Wings taking on the San Jose Sharks. Now the Sharks, the home dog, at +126. We also have the Red Wings coming in here last game on the road, -152. Total of 6.5, and we're seeing the juice to the under 6.5 at -128. Cam Talbot is expected in goal here for the Detroit Red Wings, and Mackenzie Blackwood here for the San Jose Sharks. Now, Mackenzie Blackwood has really strong numbers on the season, but when we look at him versus the Red Wings, he's played 4 games, gone 2-2 with a 3.41 goals against average and an .893 save percentage. Cam Talbot versus the San Jose Sharks, he's played 20 games, and those numbers aren't great. He's gone 8-9 with a 3.34 goals against average and an .886 save percentage. I do think both of these goaltenders could let in those goals tonight. Which goaltender do I have more faith in? It's hard to say, but it is Mackenzie Blackwood. with his record that he has had and his season he is having right now. The Detroit Red Wings have lost the last 2 games. The Ducks beat them on Friday. Yeah. The San Jose, no, not the San Jose Ducks. The Anaheim Ducks beat them on Friday 6-4. Then they lost on Saturday to the LA Kings 4-1. They've got the Isles on deck on Thursday. Last game on the road. This is a one-off home game here for the San Jose Sharks, which is never a position I love to bet a team either. They're returning home, and then they're headed back out on the road to take on the Stars on Wednesday. They've lost their last 3. They, though, were able to push the Pittsburgh Penguins to a shootout loss. So they lost out on the road 4-3 on Saturday. I think the Sharks, with the value of the home dog here, is worth a look at plus 126. The Sharks all-time versus the Red Wings have a record of 27-19. But the Red Wings have won 3 of the last 4 meetings. So while the Sharks hold the overall record, the recent records say the Red Wings have won this matchup. Tyler Toffoli, I'll look at here for the Sharks for the anytime goal. He's coming in at plus 210. Celebrini at plus 250 for the anytime goal as well. I think this is an over game all day. 4-3 style game that's coming in the over at plus 104. I know we haven't seen a lot of goals out of these 2 teams, but I do think they're coming tonight. I also think this could be 3-3 going to overtime. The overtime bet in this one coming in at plus 350. So I like the Anaheim Ducks to score first in that game at Groovy Caps. I think that is a great way to go, you guys. I totally can back that. Okay, so that's where I'm going. I'm just going to take the over in this one. I do think it's worth a shot on the Sharks. So let's do a recap here, you guys, and then I'll send you on your way. I want to thank you so much for joining me here for a Pocket with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV on X. We'll do the recap, then we'll be back tomorrow at noon. Make sure you always head on over to the SportsGrid app and check out the Madden Quickie. It will be up later this afternoon. We have NFL, so it will be an NFL Madden Quickie today. So don't miss out because Madden Quickie did pretty good yesterday. We were able to get Von Miller for that anytime sack, which paid us great plus money. Still can't believe the Kansas City Chiefs lost, but it was a good day as a Bolts fan that they lost and my Chargers pulled out that crazy win. Let's do the recap, guys. Thank you again for joining me here. The Colorado Avalanche versus the Philadelphia Flyers, 7 p.m. Eastern puck drop. I'm going to take the first period over 1.5 goals at minus 132. Could we see both teams score? We could, but it could be the Avs scoring too. So just give me the over 1.5. Give me the Avs team total over 3.5 at minus 118. Cale Makar to score a goal in this game at plus 350. The Columbus Blue Jackets versus the Boston Bruins. I think Columbus can win this 3-2. Give me the Columbus Blue Jackets on the money line. Give me Columbus over 2.5 goals for my favorite bet of this game at minus 116. The Boston Bruins haven't been elite at home, and they haven't been elite on the season at lighting the lamp. So I do think this is a lower scoring game overall. So I would look at Brad Marchand for his shots on goal, and then a Monahan for the anytime goal for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Edmonton Oilers versus the Montreal Canadiens. The last 2 games between these two last season went to overtime. Montreal was able to keep it tight. I will take Montreal on the puck line plus 1.5 at minus 106. And because I'm pucking crazy, I'll sprinkle a little bit on Montreal to pull off the win because the Edmonton Oilers have an absolutely terrible PK out there. I can't trust them. I think there's a quick goal in this one. I don't trust either goaltenders right now. The goal in the first 5 minutes coming in at plus 160. I do think this is a fantastic game to prop bet. Connor McDavid for the goal at plus 100. 2+ points is juicy at minus 142, but he has proven 6 of the last 10 games. He has been able to get multi-point games under his belt versus Montreal. He's also been so phenomenally strong with those goals and those points versus them. So Leon Draisaitl as well for the anytime goal. Strong record versus Montreal and strong record on the road and as of late and getting those goals. And Ekholm with Darnell Nurse listed day-to-day. Ekholm will get more playtime, 3+ shots on goal at plus 110. The power play points, I do think, is where you circle for the Montreal Canadiens. Kirby Dack at plus 370, Cole Caulfield at plus 270, and Nick Suzuki at plus 270. Again, you guys, I'll put a third of a unit on each. When we look at the Anaheim Ducks and the Dallas Stars, the Anaheim Ducks could be quacking in this one because of Luke Dostal. If he stands on his head, Goalie save shot on goal prop. This is what I'm going to look at. Let me just see if I can pull up that number for you guys. If it's out yet, and it's still not out. Dostal should have a phenomenal day. If the Ducks are able to get the win, it's because he goes over his number. The Ducks allow 34.9 shots on goal per game, and the Dallas Stars averaging 31.9. Dostal, anything under 33.5 save shots on goal, I will be firing on tonight. I think that is the best bet of this game. Dostal over his save shots. Again, anything under 33.5. So you got a 32.5, take it to the over, you guys. I think Dostal is in for a big night because I think he's in for a big night. I will take the Ducks plus 1.5 on the puck line. They've proven that they can cover the puck line versus the Dallas Stars. I'll sprinkle on that money line because, well, yeah, I got to. This team has won their last 4 games on a Monday as an underdog. That's a great trend. At plus 350, I'm willing to hit on that for a small bet. Lower scoring game, under 6.5. The Washington Capitals versus the Utah Hockey Club. First period, over 1.5 goals. Both teams to score at plus 160 will be my favorite bets of this game. I do think Utah can go over 3.5 goals at plus 126. Clayton Keller for the anytime goal at plus 190. Ovechkin to continue to roll hot at plus 165 for his goals. The Detroit Red Wings and the San Jose Sharks. Give me the Sharks with the plus money as a home dog at plus 126. The over in this game, the over 6.5 at plus 104, and overtime at plus 350. Tyler Toffoli and Celebrini for the goals. And then Dylan Larkin, Patrick Kane. You know those goals are coming for the Red Wings as well. You guys, all the best in all of your bets. You are welcome for the recap. I try to go through it as fast as I can. Anytime goal for Schultz there versus his former team. That is a great bet. I love where you're going with that. I forgot to look at that angle. I also like the McDavid and the Caulfield parlayed for those anytime goals. I think it is a very strong way to go. We've seen Montreal be able to score more goals with their movement on their lines. I love Caulfield down on that second line. He's being more impactful down there, and Kirby Dach being moved up. So you guys, all the best in all of your bets. I want to thank you so much for joining me here on A Pocket with Jo. You are so very welcome. You guys, I am seeing over 1,500 people watching on all platforms right now. That is between X and YouTube. So if you guys could hit that like, hit that retweet, let's do the round robin. Vinny, we got to do the round robin. 3 bets today that I am absolutely loving. Okay, so let's take the over 6.5 between the Red Wings and the San Jose Sharks as like one of the round robin. Like 2 of the round robin, I will look for the Anaheim Ducks and the Dallas Stars to stay under that 6.5. I really do think that is a lower scoring game. And then for the third leg of the round robin, give me the first period over 1.5 goals between the Colorado Avalanche and the Philadelphia Flyers. So that is your round robin for today, you guys. Thank you again so very much for joining me here on Pocket with Jo. If you want a player prop parlay, I will also go with Connor McDavid for the anytime goal, Caulfield for the anytime goal. I love that one that you guys threw out. And then let's look at Ovechkin for the anytime goal and Clayton Keller for the anytime goal. So targeting both of those games, that I do think those goals will come in. Again, Clayton Keller, Ovechkin, Connor McDavid, and Caulfield. If you want to round robin that, then you can. Oh, I can't recap my top 10 again. I just recapped all of them, you guys. So top 10 picks. Man, that's hard. Top 10. I would look at all of the dogs tonight. Let's look at the dogs here. I would take, if you're looking at something to kind of parlay together, I think the dogs are barking tonight. I would take the Columbus Blue Jackets plus 1.5. I'd take Montreal plus 1.5. I'd take the Anaheim Ducks plus 1.5. The Utah Hockey Club, I'd just take. I do think they could probably get the win here, but I don't want to step in front of them. I love their team total over 3.5 though. And the San Jose Sharks, you don't get the value plus the 1.5. So the value on those dogs plus the 1.5 is the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Anaheim Ducks. I think all 3 have the possibility of winning. So play around with that however you want in some round robins on those puck lines. You guys, again, thank you so much. You guys have the very best of days as well. It is snowing here, and it's snowing so much that, yeah, it's going to be some fun shoveling, you guys. I will talk to you soon. Stay tuned for the Madden Quickie. Bye, guys.